When you are adding and subtracting fractions, you must first look at your denominators. So if you have 1/3 plus 2/9, the first thing you must do is look at your denominators. I like to circle them. So circle your denominators. I have a 3 and I have a 9. When you're looking at your denominators, you have to decide which one is larger. The larger denominator is 9. So then ask yourself, will 3 go into 9? Yes. Will 9 go into 9? Yes. So your denominator must be a number that both your denominator on the top and the denominator on the bottom fraction will go into. So your next step is to ask yourself, 9 times what equals 9? 9 times 1. Whatever you do to your denominator, you must do to your numerator. So if you times your denominator by 9, you must time your numerator by 9. By 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Then I look at the fraction on the top, and my denominator is 3. I ask myself, 3 times what is 9? 3 times 3. So whatever you times your denominator by, you must times your numerator by. So if I times by 3 on the bottom, I times by 3 on the top, and 1 times 3 is 3. Once you get a common denominator, and I now do, my denominator on both are a 9, so I add. 3 plus 2 is 5, and once your denominator is the same, you leave it. So 1/3 plus 2/9 is 5/9. Let's try another one. 5/8 plus 3/4. The first thing you always must do is find your denominators. I have an 8 and a 4. Find the one that's larger. 8 is larger. So ask yourself, will 4 go into 8? Yes. So your common denominator will be 8. Now you have to create your equivalent. Your equivalent is equal to the fraction you start with, but all you're doing is multiplying it to create a fraction or two fractions that both have the same common denominator. So ask yourself, 4 times what is 8? That would be 2. Whatever you times your denominator by, you must times your numerator by. So 3 times 2 is 6. So an equivalent to 3/4 is 6/8. Now ask yourself on the top, 8 times what is 8? 8 times 1 is 8, and whatever you do to that denominator, you must do to that numerator. 5 times 1 is 5. Once you convert to equivalent fractions, look and see if you have a common denominator. The denominator on both is 8, so they are the same. Now all I have left to do is add. My operation is add. I add my numerators. 5 plus 6 is 11, and I keep my denominator the same. Once your denominator is the same, you keep it the same. Now the first thing I notice when I look at this fraction is that I must simplify it because it's an improper fraction. And I taught you yesterday that you can't leave an improper fraction improper, you must convert it to a mixed number. So remember, the line in the middle means to divide. So I come up here and say 11 divided by 8. 8 will go into 11 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. I subtract and get a remainder of 3. Then I do my backward C. How many whole times did it work? 1. How many's left over? 3. And you always put it back over the denominator you started with, which was an 8. So my final answer is 1 3/8. Let's try another one. The next one is 5/7 plus 2 over 21. 5/7 plus 2 over 21. I first look at my denominators. I have a denominator of a 7 and a 21. So the next thing I ask myself is which one is larger. A 21 is larger. 7 will go into 21. 21 will go into 21, so my common denominator is 21. Now I must create my equivalents. I ask myself, 21 times what is 21? 21 times 1 is 21. Whatever you do to your denominator, you do to your numerator. 2 times 1 is 2. Then I go to the top. I ask myself, 7 times what is 21? 7 times 3 is 21. Whatever I multiply my denominator by, I multiply my numerator by. 5 times 3 is 15. Now that I have common denominators, I'm going to double check, 21, 21. I'm ready to do the operation. My operation says to add. I keep my 21, 21 because it's common now. 15 plus 2 is 17. I ask myself, is 17 over 21 in simplest form, or will it simplify? It is as low as it'll go. 17 is prime, and 21 doesn't share a factor with 17 except 1, so it is as low as it'll go. The first 3 examples that I have worked shared a number that could be the common denominator. Now let's work a few that do not share a common number. Let's do 3/8 times 1/3. When I look at 3/8 times 1/3, I go ahead and I circle my denominators. I have an 8 and a 3. I notice that 8 is larger than 3, but 3 will not go into 8 an equal number of times. So now I have to find a number that both 8 and 3 will go into equally. The easiest way to do that, and this should have been a plus sign, I'm getting carried away. The easiest way to do that is to multiply your 2 denominators. 8 times 3 is 24. So if I multiply 8 times 3, that gives me my common denominator of 24. Now I just have to work the rest out. 3 times what is 24? 3 times 8. Whatever you times your denominator by, you times your numerator by. So 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times what is 24? 8 times 3. Whatever you times your denominator by, you times that numerator by. 3 times 3 is 9. Now that I have common denominators, they are both over the 24. I keep my 24 and I add what's on top. 9 plus 8 is 17. We just talked about 17 is as low as it'll go. 17 won't go into 24, so this fraction is in simplest form. Let's do another one. The next one we're going to look at is going to be 1/6 plus 2/5. 1/6 plus 2/5. When I look at 1/6 plus 2/5, I notice very quickly that 6 is larger than 5. So I ask myself, will 5 go into 6 evenly? It will not. So I can't use one of my denominators as a common denominator, so I must multiply the 2. So if I multiply 6 times 5, I get 30. So a common denominator that I can have will be 30. A common denominator I will have will be 30. Now that I have a common denominator, I just have to create my equivalent. I ask myself, 5 times what is 30? 5 times 6. Whatever you times that denominator by, you times this numerator by. 2 times 6 is 12. 6 times what is 30? 6 times 5. Whatever you times this denominator by, you times this numerator by. 1 times 5 is 5. I now realize that my denominators are the same, so all I have left to do is add. I keep my denominator of 30. I add 5 plus 2 is 17, so my answer is 17 over 30. I did not plan for the numerator in all 3 of those answers to be 30. It just worked out that way. Let's do one more. Last one. Let's add 8/9 plus 2/5. 8/9 plus 2/5. When I look at 8/9, I quickly realize my denominator is 9, and when I look at 2/5, my denominator is 5. The larger of the two denominators is 9. 5 will not go into 9 equally, so I have to multiply the two. So I go ahead and say 9 times 5 is 45, so my new denominator is going to be 45. Ask yourself, 5 times what is 45? It is 9. Whatever you multiply that denominator by, you multiply this numerator by. 2 times 9 is 18. Then I move to the top. What do I do to 9 to get 45? I times it by 5. Whatever you times that by, you times this by. 8 times 5 is 40. My common denominator is 45. So I keep my 45. I add what's on top. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. So look at this answer. I have created an answer that is 58 over 45. I just taught you that 58 over 45 is not a proper fraction, it is an improper fraction. So you must remember that line in the middle means to divide. You are not finished until you go ahead and convert that to a mixed number. So I come over to the side and I divide 48 by 55, that goes one time. I subtract, I do my backward C. How many whole times did it go? It went one, keep hitting the eraser. It went one whole time. 13's left over 45. So my final answer was 48 over 45, which was improper, so I had to convert it, and it equaled 1 and 13 over 45. If you're having trouble and you don't understand, go back and rewatch this video. I can work example after example after example, but you can also go back and just play the same video again. And if you didn't catch it the first time, I bet you'll catch it the second time. Good luck.